Why, hello there, ship engineers. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Ostranauts, Fire in the Hold. Episode 8, Installing the Requirements for Pressurization. Alright, so we're auto-restoring all the stuff around so that it doesn't break down on us. Because that's the other thing is, like, your ship will experience some, like, general wear and tear over time. And if you aren't restoring it, it will fall apart and break down and then require you to supply actual repair components, which then increases the cost of running a ship. So making sure that you are regularly restoring your ship is important, and then the larger ships require multiple crew. Because there's only so much that one person can restore reasonably. This is one of the reasons why I want the damage overlay, so that I can spot the most problematic parts that are gonna, like, break down. Like that conduit was really low. That's another thing you can do is if you have a stack of conduit, like a 5-stack of conduit, you can put it on the ground and restore the entire stack before installing it, and that mitigates any of the, like, explosion risk. It's also worth mentioning that, since last stream, there's been some, like, patches. There's been a not insignificant patch to the game where the chance of, like, restoring stuff sparking a fire is decreased, and, like, there's some UI bonuses and you can read through the patch notes, but it's I just figured it was worth noting that there was a patch just a few days ago further improving the game, which is awesome. I love that. Alright, visor for pressure. We have definitely got a lot of reactor components. Capacitor, fuel regulator, MHD generator, and a laser array. That's going to be some good money. There's coolers, which is good money. None of this is the style of which I want to install, mind you. And at some point what I could do, if I'm not trying necessarily to make just generic money, I can ship jump from ship to ship to ship to ship and just really only stop at ships that have the type of components that I'm actually looking for. I don't think that that would be necessarily unreasonable to do at some point. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is sort the go through the bins, and then we'll go through the components. What about the walls? Nope, these are the wrong types of walls. Plus, I'm not looking for walls before I'm looking for floors. Oh, another videotape. Oh, this one even had a fridge. I mean, not a working one, but a fridge all the same. This, nah, too empty. Yep, let's scrap that. It's kind of in my way. So far, really nothing special in these bins. This is technically a mobile systems lightweight stuff, but not the type I'm going to want. I might want to take some of these bulkhead bins that you see here. So maybe I'll grab them after I'm done scouring. But these are, oh, a Weber laser charging station. Interesting. I mean, I bought one, but interesting that one was here. And then, oh, a nav that is intact. So if we do visor price, you can see this nav is like dark blue. That's why I was surprised to find a working nav, because it's by far the most valuable thing on the ship. Cool. Well, I'll circle back for it. A very pressurized O2 bottle. I mean, it's kind of falling apart, but it's got oxygen in it. Wow, that harness has a lot of stuff in it. Stuffed pockets. Did I check these? Trash. Okay. Why can't... Oh, because this door is broken. Got it. Scrap that. There we go. Much better. 2 King intakes. There's not a lot of other bins around here. The bins up here look to be in the best working order, so I'm going to dump their contents and take the bins for myself. And God, I don't know where I want to put it. Maybe I'll only take 1 bin. I'll just put it here. And this is mostly just because I don't want to have... Oops. Like an inventory full of videotapes? Because, you know, it's kind of annoying. Alright. Just a few bins left. And then we'll strip up any parts that are worth anything and be on our way. Marking yet another junker. I believe I have a thermostat. Do I? So N2, CO2, smoke, O2. Oh, maybe I don't have a thermostat. I think that's the only atmospheric thing I am missing. So yeah, let's repair this thermostat. I mean, it is free with labor, so sure. In the long run, we're probably going to want multiple thermostats. Just because, you know, you'll have multiple zones in your base, multiple rooms that will all need different heating, cooling. Alright, now we'll go after big ticket items, and that'll be good. It would not be unreasonable for me to go over to, like, buy a dolly. Absolutely. That would be a wise buy at some point. So of the... I'll just do price. Of the reactor setup, the coolers, the MHD, the fuel regulator, and the capacitor and laser array are the ones worth keeping. Again, the cryo is not really. The cryo systems for reactors are just not worth much. The tank isn't worth much. The pump's not worth much. The tank is actually worth so very little because it takes up a lot of space and weighs a lot and provides virtually nothing for money. All right, grabbing the cooler. But finding all the components needed to repair this stuff, like, on the ship is great. Can you piece together your own reactor? Yes, in fact, that's one of the long-term goals of this series. If we want to get to Ceres, the location in this series, a reactor is absolutely necessary, because you really can't get there with regular RCS thrust. I mean, that'd be like taking a... yeah, then it's not possible. All right, some more components. Let's go for the fuel rag. And the reason why I'm not keeping this stuff is I don't have anywhere to keep it. Right. So what I will do, though, is should I ignore valuable salvage for the sake of expanding the ship? So it's reasonable to say at this point I have enough money that I can pay the bills, right? We've paid off all the debt on our ship. So all the money that we're getting here on out, and that's not where the pull should be. All the money we're getting here on out is just paying for, like, you know, food and electricity and oxygen and that kind of stuff. Which means I don't necessarily need to be worried about the day-to-day expenses. I can just go for big picture of expanding the ship, and I'm going to ask you guys if that's something you'd like to see. Okay, I don't have space on here for another... Well, I could move the extinguisher to make space for another cooler. Maybe I'll do that. There's a cooler here, a cooler there. Yeah. Don't think I see any O2 cans worth grabbing. I'll do a quick check. No, I'm not seeing anything in the price overlay screaming at me like, hey, you missed me. I'll grab a turbo pump because I have basically just the room for a turbo pump. If there's a thruster here, I'll grab the thruster too. What? You can put it here. What do you mean? That's not blocked. Yeah, okay. The character was like, oh, you're right. It wasn't blocked. And subsequently put it down. That's right. And it looks like you guys are eager for me to expand the ship. Got it. So I'll do just that. So from here, I'll head back to K-Leg, restore this stuff, sell this stuff. This will cover any of the, like, operational costs for the ship for quite some time. And then I will just ship hop. I'll make notes of what I find, of course, but I'll hop from ship to ship to ship looking for the framework needed to improve our ship to the point where it can handle more crew or reactor installation or, you know, you name it, whatever. Is it worth checking the new nav consoles for parts? No. My nav station has basically everything a nav station needs. There's not going to be anything in the other nav stations that I don't have, generally speaking. I can't tell anything. Edit. Add. That's probably correct. I don't know. Hard to tell. Okay, we're about halfway there. Anyone want to take a guess what I'll yield for this? I'm going to say 5, 10, 18, 22, 27, 35. I'm trying to think of how much money I'll get. I'm going to guess 45K-ish. Oh, and character's going to need to sleep soon, too. Got it. No, you also thinking about 45K? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. 45 to 50K, I think, is about right. So I think, well, when I'm at K-Leg, I'll do some sleep too. So I can hit the boneyard looking for ship parts. Fresh-faced. Come on, line up. There we go. Docking. Alright, I'm just gonna keep restoring the stuff here before I even set foot. Now, I did have questions, but like anything you leave on K-Leg is, and this responds to questions on YouTube. Anything you leave on K-Leg will be there, so if you wanted to slowly collect reactor parts to like store them on K-Leg so you can install them on a future ship, like you can totally do that if you want. It's not something I intend to do, but you could. And then if you're wondering if you can live on K-Leg, yes, there isn't real estate for sale, if that interests you. Which it is not a goal for me for this series, so I won't be doing that. But there's a real estate kiosk right here, actually, where you can buy an apartment. It costs $4 million, but you could buy an apartment. There's not a lot of benefit to doing that right now, because generating power for your ship is pretty cheap in the scheme of things. So keeping the utilities on for your own ship is like not much in terms of operational costs. So the benefit of having an apartment is basically zero, but like if you really wanted to, you could. All right. So let's see how we did in terms of guessing the price. Ooh, that nav console selling for more than I thought it would. Oh, I'm gonna sell the Weber laser charging station without repairing it. It's not a big deal. 52K? Yeah, that's about spot on. In terms of what's in my backpack, I'm gonna sell the loose stuff because I'm not collecting that stuff yet. Well, 100K. Fees paid. And let's get some shut-eye, and then I'll update the priority. So the current priority right now is to find floors and walls I want to use to expand the ship. Done. Worded very carefully in that it's that I want to use. I fully acknowledge that there's a lot of like, I could just be using anything, but this is a personal preference that is not going to be swayed by other factors. Okay. I'm asleep. It is, what, 7 in the morning? So, roster. Schedule sleep. And this is how you can just like fast forward through sleep. But the best way to do this is to schedule sleep while you want to sleep. And then hit the super fast forward time where then you spend the next like 6 hours actually asleep. Cool. So we are nice and rested. Because your psychological needs will determine your like work efficiency. So being rested means working faster, scrapping ships more efficiently, you know. And that's one of the reasons why it's kind of important to take care of these things. All right. I still don't have a flask. At some point I'll probably find a flask as salvage before I need one. All right. Pay because I don't have like a universal switch while I was sleeping, because I still don't have a place to sleep on my own ship comfortably. We were still like hooked up to K-Leg, meaning that I like owed K-Leg money for essentially parking here, which is fine. Again, it was like 2K. It's not a big deal. I don't really care. Just let you know that yes, there is a cost sleeping at K-Leg, which means having like a crew cabin in the future for me to sleep on, you know, on my ship is going to be ideal. So let's go ahead and switch the batteries around. So, really? Mine is currently 0. Okay, well, good. I'm glad I remembered to do this. And then I'll even take the spare battery that's at like 100% charge and put the dead one in. I'm surprised I wasn't like asphyxiating due to having a dead battery. It probably only just died or something. And I still have a spare O2 tank or O2 bottle, so I'm not worried about my O2 stocks, which you can see on the right side of the screen there being low, because not a big deal. All right. Hailing and... Can I just fill it? You can fill it, sorta. Like, it's a little sketchy to fill your own O2 bottles. You can do it in a pinch, but I wouldn't ever do it on purpose, to be honest. Because you're very likely to also explode them. I'm going to switch from RCS controls to map controls. So I could pan around the map a little bit, looking for spicier salvage targets. This could be a... Yeah, let's head there. There's a possibility that this is a freighter that has a lot of orange way, because the freighters typically have a lot of orange way. So, yeah, we'll head there. But it's... K-Leg is kind of blocking the path, so I'm going to have to push around. It also might just have pirates. You know, it could be a trap. Don't know till I get there. Let's try to, like, perfectly line up on it. Pull a wash. Come on, bearing 0. There we go. I'll even reduce time to quarter speed. Cross velocity of... Oh, come on. Thrusters. Thruster. Cross velocity and bearing of 0. Yep. Alright. We should get that, no problem. So while in transit, we'll restore all of the ship, because our ship is still in rough shape after all this recent reinstallation stuff. But it's looking good now. I mean, it's mostly together. I'm just missing a lot of floorboards and walls. Alright, we're about halfway there. And I think we're pretty close to a nearly fully pristine ship. If I'm auto-tasking and just standing here, that is a pretty good indicator. Some of it might just be I can't path to it. But my guess is we're mostly just 100%. So I'm studying the textbook I have for ship construction engineering, because why not? There's nothing better to do right now. And in order to, things that you can do to pass the time between transits, if you have stuff like entertainment stuff or exercise equipment, that's pretty reasonable to use when in long burns or studying for books. There's a bunch of like pretty decent self-improvement things you can do when you're moving on long burns. If you have something you want to save and not have used as a material, let's say a good compression pants, can you lock them? Yeah, you could lock them in a crate or something like that. Oh, I don't even have to do anything here. I just slow down a little bit because it was such a dead-on burn. Let's see, I'm not even gonna adjust my course. I'm just gonna slow down and see if I pulled a Hoburn wash. Trying to free Mal from Nishka or whatever. Yep, I didn't adjust left or right. Pinpoint. From, I don't know how many kilometers, but quite a way out. So, this ship is called the Green Tentacled Monster. And if I know anything about ships, it means this one's sketchy. Okay, so it is an Orange Wave freighter. It has a intact reactor core, barely, because it's like busted to hell, but no reactor components. It's got a nav station. Let me visor price. It's got a helium tank, which is pretty sweet. And then the big thing is it has the mobile light framework. We have a teeny bit of the Orange Wave mobile light framework that I want. And when I say a teeny bit, like barely anything at all, but technically yes. So the plan was to essentially ignore everything except for expanding the ship. So that's exactly what I intend to do. Oh, visor. Yep, default. I was like, well, I can't put these uninstall tasks on. One thing I didn't do is to buy a dolly, which could have helped. But, well, next time. Kind of hoping that I would find one, to be honest. But that has not happened. Alright, symmetrically, there's going to be a similar Orange Way on the 4 sides here. And I think that's all the Orange Way style that I want. So 24 more floor tiles. Whoa! Jesus. There's, hello. Franklin. Okay, you're a shipbreaker. You're not a pirate. That's good. Okay, had a low-key heart attack there. I'm good, though. I might need to replace my pants, however. They're browned. I totally did not notice that there was another person on this ship. And, then when I saw them, I was very happy that they didn't see fit to murder me. Because I was not paying sufficient attention to not be murdered. So, yeah. What's under the walls? I can check. It's wrong. It's not what we're looking for. Now, I could expand what I'm willing to build with, and maybe I'll do that after installing this stuff. Lord Around, thank you for the resub. Yeah, they're here to talk about my ship's warranty. It's uninsured. Hit me and I won't pay. Alright, so we got 24 tiles. I think that's all that is of the the style I was going for. Also, they're dead bodies. So even though I'm not necessarily looking for money, like a PDA can be worth an amazing amount, or it can have data that I need. Like, there's reasons to pick it up. So you've got Heat Viz and a tier 2 modded cartridge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install that and see what the tier 2 modded cartridge is. So this is a damage and mass, and I wanted a damage Viz. And it also has Rainbow, Old Red, Inverse Rainbow. Okay. So, rename. Dam. Mass. I should probably do that with the other modded ones. Because I have this modded one. What was on this? This was Heat and Power. Heat Pow. So price, damage, and mass will be my defaults. One of the nice things about Heat is if you're wondering if there's people, yeah, that works quite well for the I want to avoid people that want to murder me, give me the Heat overlay. And bada bing, bada boom, you can avoid getting murdered. Now, I could try to solve their murders, like who murdered these guys or whatever, or why they died, but yeah, it's not really my goal. Is there other I don't know. Okay, this new one has a more modded cartridges. I don't really have space to fumble stuff around, so let's go back to the ship. Yeah, you can see the quality of okay, so there is a spot of wall here blocked by the antenna that I have not yet repaired, but as you can see, my ship is basically in like prime condition. Oh god, so much so it hurts the eyes. Install. Hull. I don't necessarily want to use any floor, because I could just start grabbing random floors of wrong styles from elsewhere. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay. So yeah, as I've already answered in chat, this, I'm just like, I don't have a design in mind. I'm just, everything's on the fly. Which means there will be a lot of revisions and a lot of changes over time. And like, I'm chill with that. So I hope you are too. So what I'm envisioning is having a door here and then like a large salvage bay in the back. Where this white tiled stuff is like the salvage bay style. Alright, orders, uninstall, wall conduit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And what I'm aiming to do is to have some sort of like cohesive shape before I bother pressurizing it. One of the barriers for me, like personal preference barriers for me adding crew to this ship, is I want a pressurized ship so that my crewman isn't likely to just die. I mentioned this before, but the air is pretty good about not dying, but they're not excellent at not dying. So making it more foolproof so they just don't asphyxiate and die is like low-key a goal. Alright, install hull, mobile light wall. Oh, I just panned past it. Where was it? And I'll be putting thrusters back here, because nothing's really going to go further back than this wall. Because the airlock's there, and you can't build beyond your airlock, like north or whatever of your airlock, because game just not going to allow that. Game will be very sad, because everything you dock with will explode you. Which also means the Kang's going to have to move eventually, but I can work out where soon. I don't need to have an answer for that now. Alright, install power Albrights. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Flora's Lava. Thank you for the resub, and welcome to a stream. Yeah, technically you don't need floor into the walls. The reason I'm adding them is the ship is going to continue growing, so I might as well have them because I'll need them in the long run to grow. Okay, next up, let's move the Kang again. And I'll put it here under the bin. I don't. Just wondering if I had more conduit. Orders. Uninstall conduit. 1, 2. And Kang's turned on. Cool. I'm gonna uninstall my air pump. I don't really need the air pump right now. I don't have a pressurized ship, and I might as well just like sell this air pump. Because all it's doing is taking up room with the oxygen tank, and I'd rather just not worry about that right now, because it's getting in the way. Alright. Install hull. Mobile light wall 1, 2. Is N2 for RCS? Yes, or atmospherics. Because you're going to be most comfortable in a 80-20 nitrogen-oxygen environment. So that's, you know, the eventual aim is to have air pumps for N2 and O2, and then a scrubber for CO2. The gas mix does matter, yes. Too much oxygen and you're gonna explode. You're building a bomb at that point. How much of an impact does pure O2 oxygen have on your character? So as far as the game mechanics goes, your character needs to breathe about 20 kPa of oxygen and then not have toxic gas or smoke or whatever. So as long as you're breathing breathing pure oxygen is fine, but it's not fine when you have a pressurized cabin with a ignition source with pure oxygen, because then you're just like begging to be exploded. Okay. So, slightly reconfigured here. Cool. Optical sensor. And IR sensors now need a place to live. That's totally fine. Alright. The rest of the hunters, the rest of the way. Here. And here. Nice. Okay, orders. Uninstall wall and conduit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is where a dolly would make the most sense. I don't have one. I should have bought one. But I'll brute force this. Thank you for tuning in to Ostranauts, Fire in the Hold, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, fellow ship scrappers.